Hello everyone, this is a short tutorial on how to sew a scrunchie. I took a couple of scraps and decided on this pink one. And Bobby over here asked me to make her some clothes and I said, not today. So since I'm making this scrunchie from scrap fabric, I'm taking 2x20cm length fabric and joining them together. And no, you don't need to buy a specially fabric just to make this. You can literally use whatever you have at home. So since I decided let's not make this project boring, I whipped out the trusty trim. I decided on this white trim because it complements the polka dots on the pink fabric. And yeah, I am just joining the two pieces together. After joining the two pieces of fabric together, you'll want to measure the trim to the length of your scrunchie. So at this point, I would advise you to use pins to pin the trim onto the edge, but I didn't have any pins on me. So as you can see on the machine, I measured 1.5cm away from the edge and I'm just sewing along until I reach the end. And look at that, it's looking pretty already. So now that we've reached the end, I see that I've got some excess trim right on the edge. So all we'll just do is we'll cut it off and no worries, your scrunchie will still be fine. And after that, we take the two edges, fold them together and then we stitch them up. I forgot to mention that you back tack first and then you sew a straight line down and then when you reach the end, you back tack again. And now we fold the top part of the scrunchie on itself and the outer part like a sandwich. So this part is a little bit of a tricky part. You have to make sure that the inner sandwich layer is on the inside and it doesn't get caught while you sew. And as for the trim, you have to make sure that the trim is aligned with the needle, if you know what I mean. And then you just sew straight and you pull out as you sew. So this is like continuous sewing, pulling out and sewing again until you reach the end and you leave a little opening so that you can take everything out. So once you have pulled everything out, you are going to check that all the trimming was caught while you were sewing it. So once everything is out and you've checked everything, I see that I've missed and I will go back to it because it might unravel later when you are wearing it. And that's not cool. So it's just a back tack, a sew and a back tack again. So once you've gone in and you have secured your trim, you then cut off excess thread. I didn't measure my elastic, but for the sake of this video, you can measure 12 centimeters. So I'll take my pinned elastic and I guide it right through the scrunchie until I reach the end of the opening. At this point, a safety pin would have been more ideal, but I didn't have one on hand, so I just grabbed it if I had. So that is the pin coming out, and then as you can see, my elastic was a bit too long for my liking, so I just had to figure my way through the size that I wanted, and then all I just did was I knotted it together like that and stretching it in place to see if that is the desired resistance that I want out of the scrunchie. And now for the last and final step, remember that little hole that we left open for the elastic to go through? Yeah, so now we're closing that. So all you just do is fold it on top of each other, back tack, sew straight down until you see that the hole is done, and then you back tack again. So once that's done, you trim off the excess threads and then you have yourself a pretty little scrunchie with a cute little trim. And guys, leave a comment if you think Bobby needs new outfits.